Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our fall sports season ceremony for the Tempe All-City Association. My name is Dan Nero, and I'm honored to be here today to help recognize a very special group of great young people, along with their families, friends, coaches, and both school and district administration. For over 35 years, the Tempe All-City Association has honored young men and women who have excelled in athletics and many other aspects of their school communities in the Tempe Union High School District campuses. Many of the architects of this special association are here today, and we will recognize them during the course of the afternoon. We'd like to be sure to thank the Coronel del Sol administration for allowing us to have this special event on campus today. Assistant Principal and Athletic Director Corey Nienaber, Principal Nate Cleve, and the entire staff have been very helpful in providing this venue along with whatever else we need to make this event a success. Also, Tempe Union High School District Athletic Director Dave Huffine, Administrative Assistant Barb Neal, and District Digital Coordinator, I want to make sure I get that right, Warren Cole, for putting all this together. Okay, Warren is assisted by Shayla McKenzie, an intern who's a senior from Mountain Point High School, and she's helping get all this stuff available. It'll be on the Tempe Union District site, YouTube availability, and also Dr. Wood says Monday at noon it'll go live on the Tempe All-City Association site, and that's available. You can see that hashtag and all that information on the brochure today. So we really appreciate everybody being here today and getting things started. As is custom at all of our All-City events, we begin by honoring America. Please stand if you're able and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we all know, for the last year or so, we've had many challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Although it has taken great effort on the part of these student athletes, their families, coaches, administrators, and entire school communities, we were blessed to have a fall sports season and very fortunate to be here today to celebrate the young leaders. With safety in mind, and we appreciate everybody masking up today. I apologize for taking mine off. Can't see because my glasses fog up and all that other stuff, so I appreciate allowing me to be unmasked for a short time. We have asked our student and family members to attend in school-by-school groups. We are happy to have the home team, the Aztecs of Coronel del Sol, get our program started today. Before we begin the afternoon's honors, a word about order of operations. As an old math teacher, order of operations, very important, making sure we know exactly what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. Our fall coaches, who will be speaking about the student athletes, be invited to come up to our additional podium. There's no pressure at all with the student athletes. As the student is introduced by the coach, the student may simply stand up and remain with their family, or come up to the front of our circular stage. They can leave their face covering on if they like, or if they like to remove it, that's fine while they're up here. We ask that the coach please introduce themselves, recognize the family in attendance, as well as the student athlete. We also ask the coaches keep their comments to 1 to 2 minutes per student to respect everybody's time. We understand that is indeed hard to do because these are fantastic kids, but we appreciate if all the coaches could do that. Once the student is honored, they will sit back down with their family. We'll complete this process for all of the CDS fall athletes. When we finish the last group of athletes, we'll have a very special short Tempe All-City Hall of Fame induction ceremony of a very deserving Aztec alum. Upon completion of the Hall of Fame induction, students are invited to pick up their plaque right up here by Coach Bush and Mr. Ewing. And then once they have their plaque, they go right around behind, and Herb from Southwest Photography. Herb's helped us for many, many years. He'll be glad to take your picture. And once again, no pressure at all, individual pictures with family, however you would like to do that. And that'll be right behind. And then after that, of course, you're free to go, and we'll be bringing in the next group. Does that make sense? Any questions at all? Excellent, excellent. Let's get our program going, and let's get started with the Badminton Girls, both singles and doubles, and Coach Katie Pick.
Good afternoon. My name is Katie Pick. I was the badminton coach this year. Just want to thank the families that came out today of the girls. So I'm going to introduce, we had 3 of them. So first is Megan Kirchhardt. We have Marilyn Lee and Kayla McDonald. All right. All 3 of these athletes being recognized were a huge asset to the badminton team this year, as they represented half of the varsity team and were our top 3 players. They made my job very easy as a coach. They were leaders for their teammates and consistently worked hard every day. They always looked for ways to improve their skills and challenge both themselves and each other to strive to their fullest potential. They're also hardworking outside of sports as they push themselves in the classroom, taking AP and honors classes and maintaining high GPAs. They are what defines a student athlete. Congratulations, Megan, Marilyn, and Kayla, for all your dedication, passion, and achievements this year.
Thank you, Coach. Our board president, Mr. Drew Metcalf, is taking care of some little housekeeping duties in between, so we appreciate Drew doing that for us to keep us all safe. Next up, we have girls golf and Coach Albert Ettinger.
Short route. Get up there. Good afternoon. My name is Albie Ettinger. I'm the girls golf coach here at Corona del Sol, and it is my honor to recognize Caroline Formasano with the All-City Award today. I know she's a little embarrassed, but she deserves it. And I want to recognize her parents, David and Katie Formasano, for all their dedication to Caroline and our golf team. Caroline is a coach's dream. She's a leader. She's dedicated to improving herself on the course. And this was my first year taking over the program, and she made my job very easy this year. I was just so impressed with her, her leadership skills, and especially the way she mentored our younger golfers. She gave them the time and the energy to help them, and I'm just so impressed with Caroline, and congratulations.
Let's have Coach Pete Salazar with the gentleman for boys golf.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you to the Tempe All City for having this, and to our administration for hosting it. I have my boys golfer, Nick Morrow, accompanied by Jeff and Lisa Morrow. Nick had a phenomenal year, finishing 14th in the state, individually at the state tournament. But more importantly, he became the leader of our program this year as a sophomore, and that's pretty tough to do. And besides being a 4.0 student, he works within the community service, and he does everything that we want as an Aztec golfer. And for the next 2 years, I'm fortunate to have him, and I believe that he has state title aspirations in his future. And I really believe that with what he did this year, moving on to next year, next 2 years, he can get that done. So congratulations, Nick. Proud of you, buddy.
While Drew's touching up a few things right there, I want to mention 3 of our founding fathers of Tempe All-City Association, Mr. Dros Spercali. Thank you, Joe. Mr. Doug Royce and Dr. Fred Wood. Over 35 years ago, those gentlemen came up with a couple pretty good ideas and put them into play, and here we are honoring so many great kids year after year with the Tempe All-City Association. Next up, we have girls volleyball and head coach Ben Maxfield.
Okay, I forgot my readers. I'm getting old here. So I'm Coach Maxfield. I'd like to also thank the Tempe All-City Association. This is a wonderful event and something that I'm proud of that I've been able to be a part of for many, many, many years. And these girls continue a great tradition for Corona Volleyball, so I'm very excited to introduce them. Right here, I have Anna, so Anna can kind of wave. They're both tall, so I can't say they're tall. Okay, so this is Anna Jackson, and she's here with her parents, Heather and Nick, and they're up there. Anna is a hard worker on and off the court. She maintains a 3.9 GPA. Okay, she was a great leader this year with a very, very young and inexperienced team. And she helped guide us to a great record and continued our tradition of finishing strong in the state tournament. I was really proud of how she made the younger players feel like they were the best players in the world. She had 2 very inexperienced setters, and she always said, "Great job, that was a great set," and she was very positive with them. I was also very happy with how she embraced the new role. We pushed her into a different position for a while during the year, and it made her grow, and I know sometimes she was maybe got a little frustrated with it, but she kept persevering, and I think at this point she's kind of glad she did it. And finally, she will be playing next year at Cal Baptist University. So we're very excited for her, and we will definitely miss her next year. So thank you, Anna. Okay, this other tall girl here is Ella Lomagora, and she is here with her parents Mirella and Sanad. She also gets it done in the classroom. She has a 4.0 GPA. She is a sophomore who continues to get better and better. And I think I was shocked this year when we celebrated her birthday and she turned, did you turn 14 or 15? 15. She turned 15. I was like, you were only 14 last year on our varsity team. So she still has a lot of growth to come, and I'm so excited about her future. Ella comes to all our practices and games ready to learn, improve, and compete. She puts in extra time to get stronger and develop her game outside of just the normal practice hours. She's very well liked by her teammates. She was voted MVP. She is kind, competitive, funny, and she pushes those around her to improve. And though only a sophomore, she's developing her skills as a positive leader, both on and off the court. So congratulations, Ella. Go Aztecs.
Next up, we have our football players, Coach John Bechtold. Thanks, Coach.
Hello, I'm John Bechtold. I'm the head football coach. This is my 4th year. I just lost my paper. Right here. I'll add some fun to this stuff. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm going to introduce our kids first, starting with Jack Farley, Aniel Vasquez, Wade Swearingen, Theron White, Elijah Sayers, Jake Schmidt, and Tudor Georgescu. You guys, obviously, we had an outstanding season this year. These young men helped us to an 8-0 record, which was outstanding. We had our banquet last Saturday, so their parents have heard me talk about and how important they were to our program. They were true leaders for our football team. But the best thing I could probably say, I'm not going to be crazy, the 8-0 was awesome. I had several phone calls throughout the year, parents coming to me after games saying, you know, with all the stuff that's going on with the COVID-19 and all the negative things that are being said about everything that's going on, we only look forward to one night, it's Friday night, to see your kids play. And it wasn't just because of the winning, because these are the same parents that were around when we were losing. It's because of how hard these kids played and what they meant to the school and what they meant to the program. So we're going to miss the seniors, and then the juniors, we're expecting a lot from them. But congratulations, you guys, you deserve this.
Coach is short and to the point, isn't he? Just get it. I didn't mean that in a bad way, Coach. Sorry, just to the point. So, no, thank you very much. And you know what Coach Bechtold said really is so true across our district and across so many school districts across the state. A lot of challenges out there, a lot of difficulties in the last year in many, many ways, but the opportunity for our young people to get out there and compete. We really appreciate that because we know it's not free, it's not easy, it's not guaranteed, as we found out in so many ways. But for our young people to get out there and compete and still have 4.0s in the classroom, be it in class or virtual, whatever the case might be, there's no question about it. It's been a great opportunity, and we really, once again, appreciate these young people for what they've done. So can we give one more round of applause for all these kids? At this time, we want to add on to our afternoon's activities with a very special Hall of Fame induction. Gentleman's going to be coming up here to be inducted in just a few minutes, but to present this Corona alum is a state championship coach, a longtime coach at Corona del Sol in baseball and multiple sports that you may never have known. That he coached badminton, he coached what else, Coach? What else you do? Obviously, freshman football for many, many years and stuff like that. But he's a Hall of Famer himself. Ron DeVinny is a Hall of Fame of the Tempe All-City Association. He's a Hall of Famer in the Arizona Coaches Association. We welcome Mr. Ron DeVinny.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I would like to thank the All-City Board for all they've done for our athletes over the years in every sport at every school in Tempe. There aren't too many cities that put in that much time and effort and dedication to honor such people. I want to congratulate all you athletes, what you've had to persevere this year, and we're still doing that. We're under this COVID-19. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but let's just keep our noses up, our masks on, our distance, and washing our hands. Parents, you put up with a lot. And of course, coaches, what the hell? I know what it's like, excuse my language, but I know what it's like when you just can't go full bore and go get them. I've been honored to be able to be one of the 20 to 30 teachers that opened up the school. And a real quick history, as I came back and I was sitting out here, I had all kinds of flashbacks. And one that I really particularly had was looking out here and seeing no yellow tape against that building. No big gym, no small gym, no auditorium. This was the place we were supposed to meet. In August 1977, Mr. Jim Love gets on the PA system and says, students, faculty, 20, 25 of us, students, 300 to 400 of us, of them, please meet in the amphitheater. And we did. Mr. Love made his official welcome, thank you, and then he said to him, you're all dismissed until we get the air conditioning working. It was 105 to 115 degrees upstairs in the classrooms. The AC didn't work. Well, that was a real rude awakening. I get the honor today to introduce a former player of mine. Scooter was a three-sport man, played basketball, baseball, and football, with the latter two being his better sports, I think. In baseball, he was all city his junior year, but something happened to him his senior year, and it's a thing that you really don't want it to happen. He caught a fastball at the plate on his wrist, and he cracked the bone in his wrist, and he was unable to play for the rest of the year, his senior year. That's unfortunate. But Scooter being Scooter, Coach, I can play. I can play. No, you can't, Scoot. No way in hell you can play. I get a doctor's release. Get a doctor's release, but you're not going to play. Got a doctor's release, had his cast on. He could catch a fly ball. He could throw, but he couldn't hit. But he finished the year for us. Now you say, well, how in the world did he get that name Scooter? And it's Andrew. Well, I was with his mother during the baseball season. I said to her, ma'am, can I ask you a personal question? How did Andrew get the name Scooter? And she said, well, Coach, she said, it's very simple. Most kids go through stages of development, which is turn over, sit up, stand up, walk, then run. But not Andrew. He would get up and scoot everywhere. And he wasn't going to learn to run. He wasn't going to learn to walk. He was going to learn to scoot. So he became Scooter instead of Andrew. Let's talk about his athletic history. Here at CDS, he was a baseball player, a basketball player, and a football player. Was our quarterback. Could throw the snot out of it. As a matter of fact, during baseball, I had to get the football out of his hands. He kept throwing passes to the outfielders and the infielders during practice, which was kind of not really helpful getting your practice done. But in football, he was all city, all conference, all state, and honorable mention All-American. He moved on to Phoenix College. Now, Scooter, you can correct me or not, but I think you really learned to play quarterback from Kenny Stites. Kenny Stites was the head football coach at PC. I think Kenny taught him the footwork, the arm release, recognizing defenses, learning to check off to the primary receivers, to secondary receivers, and, you know, if you have to scoot, step up and get around, he taught him all that stuff. In the 2 years he was at PC was ranked number 2 in the nation his first year and number 6 in the nation his second year. After that, Scooter went to CSU, Colorado State University. There, he had an outstanding career. At one time, he was the leading passer yardage in the nation. As a matter of fact, he held the record at CSU for 449 yards against Hawaii in a game which took 31 years for that record to be broken. So you see, he could throw the football. After CSU, he went into professional football. Played some time in the NFL with the Browns, the Chiefs, the Giants. He also played the World Football League, the Finnish Football League, the American Football League, and of course the Arena Football League. And again, at the same time, did an excellent job there. But I think Scooter finally decided life's a little bit different in the professional ranks, and that he would rather do something that he loves to do, and that's coach. So his first school was Bear Creek, Colorado, where he was in charge of quarterbacks and receivers. Then from there, he moved to Brophy Prep. He was an assistant coach, took care of the quarterbacks, receivers, and the linebackers. But then he stepped in as the head coach, and Katie barred the door. all wonderful things seem to happen. In the 13 years as a head coach, he had 2 state championships, 5 semifinals, and of the 15 years he was there, 13 years of there, 12 out of 13, they were in the state tournament as a football power. I think Scooter finally decided it was time to move on. Well, like any coach, and coaches, I know what you're thinking and what you're all coming from. You think, well, I can't wait to get out of coaching. But if you're a true coach, what really happens is, I can't wait to get back to work and teach. Because if you're a coach, you're a teacher. He went to open a new school 2 years ago at Eastmark High School out at Queen Creek area. This year was their 2nd year. People, pay attention what's going to happen at Eastmark, because everywhere the Scooter's been, the quarterback's been sensational. And just talking to a few minutes ago, his son finally talked his father into letting him come to Eastmark to be his quarterback next year. And talking to Scooter and his wife, no football's talked at home. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Some of the awards that he's won, he's in the PC Hall of Fame as an athlete and as a student at PC. He's won many Coaches of the Year, and he was also chosen the Frank Cush Lifetime Achievement Award, which is an amazing award. I congratulate you for that. So at this time, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Andrew Scooter Molander.
Scooter, on behalf of the Tempe All-City Association, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you all for being here. I am more than blessed and more than honored. Congratulations to all the athletes. And I want one of those orange ties. Those are good looking. This morning, I think I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out what tie. Do I have an orange tie? Do I have a yellow tie? I don't have a yellow tie or an orange tie. Shame on me. I want one of those ties somehow. Coach, maybe I can buy one from you or something. So many people, to thank people that I've had a chance to meet. He has a true passion for people, and one of those people that you always feel better for having been around. Did not know Dave Huffine was going to be here. Dave, thank you for all you do, and congratulations on the district athletic director's job. And to those coaches, only you and I know the effort and the time that goes into it from being a coach, and oftentimes when we're a player and just reflecting, this is the first time I've been in this campus since I graduated, gee, many Christmas, 36 years ago. It's a special place. Corona is a special place, and so coaches, you know the time and effort. I want to thank some people, and I'm going to try and be brief. I may not. First of all, my wife, Teresa, I met you. Thank you for being a wonderful wife, always supporting me, putting up with me, and for helping me and driving our family to have 3 great children. Thank you. I want to thank Coach Deveni for agreeing to do this, and as you know, he was one of the finest high school baseball coaches in the history of Arizona. What you might not know is that Coach Deveni was an excellent football coach as well. You may know that he was the College World Series MVP as a catcher and went on to play professional baseball. But he was also in high school, all CIF in California, and I believe it was in Anaheim or somewhere near there. A multi-sport athlete. And this morning, my wife was looking through her phone, and there's not enough of those. And I think I was blessed in a time when it was much easier, and I was blessed because coaches truly worked together and made it able to happen for me to be able to do that, and it requires communication. Coach DeVinny gave me my first chance to play quarterback. I had never played quarterback before Coach DeVinny. And I remember that year, freshman football, we went 6-1-1 in the last game. Just still kills me because we tied Marcos 7-7. Still kills me. Playing for Coach DeVinny, we worked hard and we took it seriously because he worked hard and he took it seriously. We showed up on time because he did. We were tough mentally because he taught us to be. And we were tough physically because he was. And there's a story that I wish I could tell right now, but there are women in the audience and that would not be appropriate. You know what I'm saying. Mental toughness. He taught us. He told the story when he, and I forget, it was something like 77 plate appearances in a row as a professional baseball player, as a catcher. He did not get a hit. And then it happened, and he said earlier, Katie barred the door. He just went on a crazy hitting streak. And I thought about that in 2014 when our team at Brophy started 1-3. And all of the lessons that I've learned, way more than the majority of them, has come from my coaches. And then the dugout story. So we admired, as we were standing out there earlier talking, the dugouts in 1983. We were excited that we were going to get dugouts. What he didn't tell us is that we had to help build them. We had to be the labor. And so we did that. And anyway, we had a problem at the beginning of the season. We were an average team, but it was really our mental. We were letting small failures get to us, and guys were throwing their helmets and they were throwing their bats after a minor failure. And he ran us. He'd love to run, and I loved to run. It didn't bother me at all. That wasn't getting through to us. Guys were still throwing the helmets and bats. And so it's before the game, and we go out there and we're warming up, and somebody goes, "What is that in our dugout?" And we kind of walked over there, and somehow he had put in one of those huge boxing dummies, you know, not the little, not that one, the huge body bag. And everybody was afraid to ask him, you know, what it was for. And he said, "Well, look, guys, what's going to happen, you know, instead of throwing the bats, instead of throwing the helmets, what I want you to do is really go get your anger out. You know, after you strike out, just go let it go." And of course, nobody hit the bag, and we never threw our helmets or bats again. Amazing psychologist. I also want to thank Coach Hughes, my football coach, very innovative offensively. He gave me the opportunity to sling it and sling it and sling it. A couple years ago, a recruiter came through and was recruiting some of our players, and I was recruited by the University of Arizona, and I thought they were going to offer me a scholarship, and he was down there then, and now he's moved on, and I said, "Well, what happened?" Because they recruited me and then just stopped recruiting me. And they said, "You know, sometimes we get a chance to see a player play too many times," which is a nice way of saying, well, I made a lot of plays, but I made a lot of bad plays too, a lot of bad plays. And he used to say, "G.D. at Molander, throw it into the nickel seats." Well, it took me a lot of years to figure out what the nickel seats was. So anyway, I also want to thank Coach Dwayne, my basketball coach. Legendary coach, Hall of Fame coach. Two items that stick with me today. In addition to being an incredible coach. He said this: "Hustle is a habit, and so is being lazy." The other quote was this: "When you feel like doing less, do the opposite." I don't know if Coach Denton is here, longtime Corona principal, Marcos Sneeze principal. He was my government teacher. If he's here, I want to apologize because I was a really lazy student. Didn't take it serious. He was my government teacher in addition to offensive line coach. But I want to thank him for holding me accountable. And he held me accountable. I did some things I shouldn't have done. I don't think it's a coincidence, though, that my true passion in teaching in addition to football and other sports, is teaching U.S. government to this day. So, Coach, I want to thank you. And lastly, the guy that's been working the hardest is right here, Drew Metcalf. I want to thank him for being a great friend, for nominating me for this award. And I've had awards before, none more classy than this. I can't wait to, I guess, I don't know what's on there, but man, it looks good. I love it. It's awesome. I want to thank him for protecting me. He was our starting center for 2 years, allowing me to throw the ball. I also want to thank him for being an incredible example of a hard worker. He was in the weight room before weightlifting was really that popular. Every single time I went to the weight room, there's Drew, power cleaning, squatting, benching, just getting after it. He was inspiring to me. Now, I am still upset about a couple things regarding Drew. So it was early November 1984. He was now playing for McClintock High School. I was playing for Corona. It was my senior year. And I believe if we won that game, we had a chance to go to the playoffs. Tied 7-7, down inside the 20-yard line. He was also starting inside linebacker. One of the smartest players I've ever been around. And I'm like, we're going to win this. We're going to shock the world. Nobody thought we could beat them. They had incredible athletes, freaking smart inside linebacker. And I shouldn't have got ahead of myself because, boom, he picks off the ball, and they win 14-7. Fast forward to early September 1988. Coach Davini said I played for Colorado State. Drew Metcalf was a starting inside linebacker for 4 years for Arizona State University. I'm playing for Colorado State. We're playing at Sun Devil Stadium. They kicked the ball off. We have one of the most awesome drives that we've ever, 80 yards right down the field. I'm like, we are going to shock the world again. We're going to do it this time. Anyway, it's 14-14 at halftime, third quarter, driving again, down inside the 30-yard line, and you know what happens. So I don't know who owes who refreshments. That's beside the point. Thank you for all you're doing for these athletes, Drew. He's went on to become a very successful lawyer, but more importantly, involved in things like this. Again, Tempe All City, thank you so much for this award. I've been looking forward to it. It's really special. It's great to be back to Corona del Sol. Again, congratulations, all you young athletes and you coaches. Only we know what it's been like this through COVID. Thank you again. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Scooter. Thanks, Coach Davini. Really appreciate those words of inspiration, and once again, we're so lucky to have this induction along with the rest of the Corona current student athletes that we're honoring, because what may have happened 35, 36, whatever years ago, even all those years to 1977, it still rings true. You can make things happen, and these folks right here have done a lot of good things. We heard about many seniors already who are going on to college, going on to their careers, whatever that might be, both athletically and academically. And then we've got some sophomores and juniors and other student athletes that are still going to find ways to lead and be the type of people that's going to make this a better world, not just here at Corona, in Tempe, in the area, but throughout our country. So we really appreciate that. At this time, we invite the student athletes to step right over here to the Tempe Union High School District table, pick up their plaque. There's a plaque for each of our honorees today, and then work right around behind the amphitheater. There's Herb right over there. He'll be taking the pictures. And we once again thank you for being here and appreciate. Have a great day. Thank you. Before we begin this afternoon's honors, a real quick word about order of operations, how things will work. Fall coaches who will be speaking about the student athletes will be invited to come up to this additional podium. There's no pressure whatsoever. As the student is introduced by the coach, the student may stand and remain with their family, or if they'd like, they can come down in front of the circular stage we have right here. If they'd like to leave their mask on, fine. If they'd like to take it off, that's fine too. We ask the coaches to please introduce themselves, recognize the family in attendance, as well as the student athlete. We also ask the coaches to keep the comments to 2 to 3 minutes, and the student athlete can be recognized. And we know that's difficult because they're fantastic kids, but that'll help respect everybody's time. Once the student is honored, they can sit back down with their family to get it taken care of. We'll then ask the entire group to go up and see Mr. Ewing. He's got the plaques for the All-City Association, their honorary plaques. They can take their plaques, go right behind the amphitheater, and Herb from Southwest Photography will take their pictures. Once again, individuals as a family, however they would like to do that, and Herb will accommodate them behind the amphitheater. So without further delay, let's get started. And let's start with McClintock Girls Swim with our Olympian, our coach, Melissa Ripley.
Candace, I need you to come down here, please. You weren't going to get away with sitting up there. I'd like to first thank the Tempe Association, All City Association, for figuring out how to make this a reality. I'm very fortunate in that I have been here for many, many years. I started coaching at McClintock 15 years ago. My daughter, who just turned 30 last week, she was the first All-City recipient during my coaching time. And she went on to swim at Mizzou, and she now swims Masters. And 2 summers ago, she won 4 world championships in the Masters World Championships in Seoul, in Korea. So I'm really excited that I have Candace here. Candace is a senior at McClintock. I keep asking her, have you made a decision where you want to go? She has the potential to swim at every school that she's interested in going in, but she just informed me today that the schools that she's most interested in won't make a decision till the end of March, so we're on waiting mode with Candace. Candace was a team captain this year, but she has been a huge impact at McClintock for the swim team since she came in as a freshman. She's a club swimmer, she's a very talented flyer, she loves the IM, except not the breaststroke part of it. And this year, we're really excited because she's the recipient of the 100 butterfly, her specialty, 100 butterfly for what would have been, quote unquote, our all-city meet this year. 2 summers ago, she represented McClintock. She represented herself and her family and our team. She went to Costa Rica with one of our other swimmers, and she participated in GLASS. GLASS is the Girls Leadership Sports and Service Association. It's a relatively new program, and they go down to Costa Rica. They train with coaches down there. They work with disadvantaged young children, and they work together on leadership seminars, and they get to play by going ziplining and going to the beach and doing some other things. But the change in Candace that I saw when she came back was life-changing. And I think the experience was life-changing for her in that we all live pretty good lives here. And when you go to an area in the world where they don't have things like they don't get meals. And there was one child I know in the program that didn't want to eat her cookies that day because she wanted to take the cookie home to her little sister because her little sister hadn't had a cookie in months. And so we're talking about a very different world. And the maturity and the growth in that program was fantastic. Candace is our 100 butterflyer team record holder. She is also on 2 different relays that hold the McClintock school record. And wherever she's going to wind up going, it's really, really exciting. And then this year, for the first time, Arizona Sports 365 added swimming and diving to their all academic team, and Candace was one of our leaders. From McClintock, we had 31 swimmers and divers be recognized for their GPAs in that process. And in addition to that, as a senior, she qualifies for NISCA, which is a National Interscholastic Swimming association or aquatic swimming association. It covers water polo, swimming, and diving for a high school in the United States. She can be recognized as an All-American for her academics. She's in our Peggy Payne program, and she has, I think, a 3.84 and I think a 4.56 if you weight it. So this is Candace Farling. Congratulations. Thank you.
We appreciate our all-city president, Mr. Drew Metcalf. He's taking care of some housekeeping chores in between the coaches coming up. Now for boys dive, Coach Aiden Lohan, please. Everybody see Aiden? Maybe we'll catch him at the end if he shows up. Look, is Will here? Well, then we got to take care of Will, Coach, if you will. I apologize. Thank you, Coach.
You're here. You knew you were going to have to come down, right? Yeah. This is Will Mueller. He is a sophomore at McClintock. Before coming to McClintock, I had a sister, and she was a specialist in breaststroke and individual medley. So all of a sudden, I'm getting a diver, and I don't coach the divers. Obviously, Aiden does. This was his first year, and Aiden was a McClintock diver. So I don't know a lot about Will, but I do know that when I watch his diving, you never know what you're going to see. He has grown tremendously in the 2 years that he has been at McClintock as a diver, not only as an athlete, but as an individual. I've seen the maturing process, and he walked down into the amphitheater here, and he showed me a car keys. I went, oh no, we have another teenage driver on the road. But I know he'll do great. He informed me that he got 100%, so that's really, really good. But he has matured in his diving. He's matured as an individual. He's going to start becoming a leader in our diving group at McClintock because he's evolving, and that's what we want to see. We want to see our athletes evolve in the time that they're at high school. This is an opportunity for them not only to grow as an athlete, but to grow as an individual in accepting responsibility, being accountable for what they do or they don't do, and start controlling and managing their lives. So when they graduate from McClintock or whichever high school they graduate from, they are really a full person ready to go out and make an impact on the world. Those are things that I try and push because swimming is great, diving is great, but it's the individual person that we need to grow. And I can see that tremendously in Will, and I know within the next 2 years he's going to be at the top of everything. He was 7th at state this year. And we didn't really have a city diving meet, but we had qualifier meets in state, and he was the top diver, which is why he's here, so congratulations. He is in Peggy Payne at McClintock, and he also was a Arizona 365 all-academic team this year. He received honorable mention for his GPA, which is wonderful. And I'm very excited to see what he is going to do in his next 2 years at McClintock. Because as I said, his growth as an athlete, he has a gymnastics background, which leads to some really wonderful diving. It's a matter of getting up on the board and being able to take those skills that you learn in gymnastics and managing them with the bounce on the board, which is very, very different. He's also doing club diving, club gymnastics, Peggy Payne program, high GPA, very, very busy young man. Congratulations, Will. Thank you so much.
Mr. Cole, thank you, Coach. Thank you very much for taking care of Candace and Will. Mr. Cole has reminded me that this program will be available on the Tempe Union High School District YouTube page. I don't know how to get to there myself. My kids help me with that kind of stuff. but this will be available there. And also, Dr. Wood said on Monday at noon, you'll be able to find it in the Tempe All-City Hall of Fame at their site as well online. So a couple different places where you'll be able to see today's event. So we really, really appreciate that. Also, if you choose to come up front, the athletes choose, it's completely up to them. I know coaches say sometimes get up here, we get it. But if you choose it, please stand up in front and face the audience so we can make sure we get you on video, okay? Now, let's do football with Coach Corbin Smith. Coach?
As far as high school, and so we're going in the right direction. It's step after step after step, and these three guys right here, they have an overall varsity combined 4-year record. I think they've been 21-17 in the 4 years, and that's better than it's been for a senior group for about 15 years. So a lot of good things have happened. First, let's go with Noah Sanchez. Come on, Noah. Come on down here. The one thing I want to say about all of these three, and not just Noah, but all three of them, it's not coincidence that all three of them have above a 3.0 GPA, and that all three of them are all multi-sport athletes, and all three of them have parents that are engaged in the program, involved in the program, and help us run the program, basically. So it's, you're seeing their rewards is because of the parents. Noah has his mom and dad here, Jamie and Mike. Mike is one of our coaches, and Jamie coaches Mike when he coaches us. So thanks for being here. Noah is a junior. He is a 2.5-year starter. He started from the middle of his freshman year. He's an offensive lineman, starts both ways, never comes off the field. And he's being honored tonight as a defensive lineman. He had about 45 tackles last year. He had quite a few tackle for losses and a couple forced fumbles and some fumble recoveries, but he is really the leader of both our line, both offensively and defensively. He's a coach's kid, so he thinks a little bit different. He works his butt off on the field, in the weight room, in wrestling, and it's been an honor to coach him this year and look forward to great things for him his senior year. So, did I miss anything, Mike, Jamie? Okay, all right. All right, thanks, Noah. Noah Sanchez. All right, Jay, come on down here, Jaden. Come on. Jaden Mason he was our running back, but he was also our quarterback, kind of all at the same time. So Jaden, once again, is a 3-year starter. He's a dual sport athlete with track and football. He has a GPA above a 3.0, and he's here with Chandra and Braden, his mom and his little brother. So, there's a lot of things, a lot of stats I can give, all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is we didn't have a quarterback this year. And when I say we didn't have a quarterback, we didn't have a quarterback. I mean, we had one, but, just one got hurt and at the beginning, and another young sophomore came in, and it's hard. So for about, of our 7 games, 3 or 4 of them, he started at quarterback. And you're asking a running back to run the offense, and he did a great job. We finally moved him, back to running back full time, and still had some packages, but Jaden was often that spark. We'd throw him in on defense periodically when we didn't have any life on defense or we needed some passion. We'd throw him out there, and he would create a spark. And offensively, he made a lot of plays. He's the type of running back that we talk about downhill, and he hates that word probably. Downhill. And he'll hit it downhill for 2 yards, and then all of a sudden he pops out when you think he's going to squirt out and keep going downhill, and he pops out and he makes a 52-yard, 55-yard, 70-yard touchdown run. And as a coach, you're like, where's he going? And then he pops it off, and you're like, you can't say anything to him. But set the single season rushing record for McClintock High School, which with the history that we have, that's a huge deal. 322, is that what it was? 322. So last 2 games he rushed for about close to 550 yards, I think. Ran for over 1,000 yards in 7 games, and it's been an honor to coach him. We've had a lot of fun, just personally on the field with him. A lot of laughs, a lot of back and forth. Truly, I get mad at him, and then I ignore him for a little bit, and then he comes around, and then everything's fine, and then, it's just a cycle. But we're blessed that he's been in our program and done what he's done the 4 years. So, Jaden, thank you for everything, and congratulations. Lastly, Benjamin Roberts. Again, never really came off the field, started at receiver and started at safety for us. I have a son that my oldest son is a defensive back up at Weber State, and extremely smart, knows what everybody does. And Ben Roberts this year as a senior, he stepped onto the practice field as soon as we could. He knew what everybody was supposed to do at all times and wasn't afraid to tell people. Oh, one more thing. Kim and Kevin are here, his parents, and they've been extremely involved too in our booster club, and we really appreciate it in the whole program. So thank you. But Ben, he's had a lot of accolades for the last 2 years. He's a 3-year starter for us, above a 3.0 student. I don't know. There's so much I can say about all 3 of these guys, he played with an enthusiasm and a relentlessness about him that he's like that fighting dog that's on a chain, and you let him off and he knows what to do. Sometimes he goes overboard and you got to reel him back in, but he always responded. He always worked super hard at practice. His work ethic during practice was full speed, all the time. He's had 2 great years. He's caught a lot of passes. He's caught a lot of touchdown passes. He's had I haven't gone through, but I would imagine he's probably one of our leading tacklers in the history of our program because he's been starting for us for 3 years. I've enjoyed every minute with Ben. We're going to miss him greatly, his leadership and his ability to make plays and help coach other players and get them in the right position. And, again, kind of like with Jay, Ben and I would go through those periods where I'd have to ignore him, and then he'd come back, and then we were okay, and then I'd have to ignore him. But he always responded, and it never affected the way he worked and his leadership. So we're going to miss you. Thank you for everything, and we appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks. That's all we got. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys showing up.
Thanks, really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, one more round of applause for these fine student athletes. Okay, we're about done. And Mr. Whitaker, the letter jackets, I love those letter jackets, old school right there. So looks good right there. Folks, now if you would like to step down over and see our folks over there, and Mr. Ewing will take care of you. You can get your plaque, go right behind the amphitheater, and Herb will take care of the All-City trophy and pictures, photos for you. And once again, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Come up here and stand in front. If you do come up here, make sure you turn around and face so we can make sure the camera's got you and all that. If you'd like to take your mask off up here, you may. If you'd rather leave it on, that's fine too. We ask the coach to introduce themselves and then recognize family in attendance, as well as the student athlete. We also ask the coaches to keep their comments to 1 to 2 minutes per athlete to respect everyone's time. And we know that's not easy because they're great kids and there's a lot of positive things that we do want to know about them. Once the student is honored, they can sit back down with their families. And when we complete everybody in this group, we'll ask you to go over and see Mr. Ewing. We've got your All-City plaques. You can pick your plaque up, go right around back behind, and Herb with Southwest Photography will be taking your picture. If you'd like to take it individually with your family, however, once again, no pressure. Glad to provide that for you. So without further delay, let's get started. And we're going to start with the Padres. And Marcos Deniza Girls volleyball. Coach? Girls volleyball coach? Not here? Girls volleyball player? They're at a tournament today. Okay. Well, I know they're busy. That's fantastic. So, all right, how about football? Coach Anthony Figueroa, please. Thank you, Coach.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. First, we'll start with the offensive side of the ball. For us, our all-city wide receiver, Nico Updike, and his family are here. Lisa and Kevin Updike. Lisa and Mike Updike, I apologize. We have another Lisa involved, so I apologize. This was obviously, for those of you who don't know, this was my first season as head coach at Marcos Deniza, and it was a unique year coming in during this pandemic and having guys that have had quite a bit of turnover, and these young men have responded. They bought in, and Nico is one of those guys. He's a quiet guy, but he's all about actions, as by his leadership on the field and his play on the field. He came just short of 600 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. He was voted all-region wide receiver and all-district, all-city and all-region as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nico play at the next level. I'm super excited for him. I know that he's excited. He's putting in the work, and big things to come for Nico Updike. So thank you, sir. The other young man is Nick Samaniego. Come up. I want to recognize his family that are in attendance, Nick and Lydia Samaniego. Nick is another young man that from day one just bought in and put it all out there on the field. He's an absolute freak when it comes to just when the pads come on and he's engaged. I feel really bad for the opponent guy across from him, because this guy, he loves to inflict punishment. We play with, sportsmanship, but when we get in those white lines, he knows he has one job, and he does that very well. Nick received all region and all city as well. Nick is a tremendous person. He works really hard. He's a very respectful young man, and I'm looking forward to watching him at the next level. He'll be playing junior college football for the Gila River Hawks. Big things to come for this young man as well. So thank you, Nick. On the defensive side of the ball, we'll start with Eirik. Let's go up, Jacob. Jacob plays linebacker, but Jacob plays all 3 facets of the game. He's a fullback, he's a running back, he'll play tight end for you, he plays linebacker, he also punts. He's one of those throwback football players, the white knuckles, the tape and everything to go with it. He's a tremendous student. Right now he's deciding between several schools, and I think that wherever he goes, he's going to make a tremendous impact on that program. He's a leader. He's a leader by his words. He's a leader by his actions. I can't say enough about this young man, and I know that the sky's the limit for this guy. There's no ceilings for Jacob Eirik. So I want to thank you for everything. Appreciate you. Our last young man, Isaiah Williams. Come on up, buddy. I want to recognize Isaiah and his family, Terry and Tracy Williams. Isaiah came this season from North Carolina. He moved. He, from the jump, meshed with our young men. He loves to practice. He loves to be physical. He loves to hit. Isaiah plays D-tackle for us. He plays nose. He can play defensive end. He even played fullback. He got all city, obviously, defensive line, all region defensive line, and he just got recognized for all conference second team D-tackle. I think he had about 70 tackles on the season and 16 sacks. He's a tremendous young man. He's a junior, so we have one more year with this big dog, and we're going to see what happens. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate you.
is our third group, so I don't remember if I told you guys, it's Drew Metcalf, the president of the All-City Association, taking care of some housekeeping duties there. So we appreciate it. It takes a whole community to get things done. I did want to remind everybody of the special help and a special thanks that we have for some administrators, the principal at Marcos, Sarah Tolar, and assistant principal and athletic director Lenica Reese. Appreciate their help. And also from Mountain Point, Tamika Banks is the principal, and of course, Mr. Aaron Frana is the athletic director. So, hey, let's get going with the pride. Volleyball coach Andrew Yamashiro, please.
Hello, my name's Andrew Yamashiro. I'm the head coach of Mountain Point Volleyball. Today I have with me Jordan Woods, who's here with her mom, Laura, and her dad, Paul. Jordan, or JoJo, has been that kid in our program who's done almost everything for us. She's one of our team captain this year, was one of our leaders in the sense of showing the underclassmen what it takes to win. And it was a tough year. We had a couple kids who decided not to play due to a COVID year. And for her, she's really stepped up. She did everything she could to win. She was one of the kids that led if we didn't get shut down early, she would have probably led the state in digs. She was top 3 in the state in digs per set. She was one of the top aces per set in the whole state. She was a first team all region pick in one of the toughest regions in the state. But knowing this kid for so long has been what's been special. I've known JoJo since she was 10 years old, 11 years old. I've seen her grow up from a 5th grader, 4th grader to now. You have those kids in your life that you hope that you get to coach for a long period of time. And the nice thing is I've been able to coach her for 8+ years now. And seeing her grow up as a player in person has been something that has been an awesome experience. And you can truly say that, man, this program's going to be different without her there, but the mark she left on our program was even more impressive. And I can't thank her enough for everything she's done, all the help she's done, given this program as a captain and just a player. She's always been that kid who's helping kids get home, things like that, always offering rides home, even though she lives farther than most people. But no, I can't thank her enough for everything. And I'm so happy that she got this award, and along with whatever else that she's bound to get, and then hoping sooner than later she's going to have the offer that she wants from the college she wants. So we're excited that she was here for us this year. Thanks, Jordan.
And now for football, and Coach Eric Lauer, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hindsight, we thought this would never happen, and it did. And I was real thankful that we had an opportunity to get these guys on the field, to have some level of normalcy, considering the COVID and some of the destruction that it has caused. So we're thankful. I want to thank the families that are represented, the Williams family, the Zawinski family, and the Crockett family, starting with Zeroway Williams. One of the first things I did when I got the job, I went to the AD and said, I got to go after this kid. We need to talk to his mom, Kim. And I went to his class, called her, hey, can I talk to your son? He has real good feet, and his measurables, there's a great chance that someone might give him some money to play for their school. And she agreed. The family talked and okayed that, and he was a model citizen from day one when he came on the field. To be honest with you, if he just worked out with us and didn't do anything, just his work ethic, his demeanor, and the way he carried himself was top level for the program, especially being a first-year coach at Mountain Point. To have guys like these, it really helped out. So he ran with our receivers, conditioned at a high level, yes sir, no sir, and meant it, not just to pass a coach on, but he meant, Coach, what can I do? And yes, I will work on those things to make it better. So just want to thank him. He was also voted as a captain by his peers, all city, and made first team all region as an offensive tackle. So I just want to thank you. I want to wish you the best going forward, and the sky's the limit. Thanks, Zeroway. Kevin, Zawinski has spent his whole career at Mount Point. A 4-year player, came there under Coach Norris Vaughn when, at the time, football was a big deal, and that was a big deal in his life. Has been faced with some serious adversity on top of COVID. Had a bad injury to his hand this year that didn't allow him to play the first 4 games. When you're getting a look your senior year, no spring ball, you're hoping to get an offer in spring ball. That didn't happen. So coaches say, hey, we'll check you out those first 3 games and see what happens there. That didn't happen. He was injured. So a lot of adversity for the young man, and we saw some frustration at times, but he kept on pushing through, getting himself ready that when the doctor finally cleared him, week 5, he was ready to go. Finished up his last season of the game against Desert Vista, had 7 catches for 150 yards with a clubbed hand. So he has real good hands, but even more so, he has fortitude, and the effort that he put forth is definitely going to help him going forward. He has taken a preferred walk-on at Iowa State, which is definitely a trending program, and we're excited to see what's going to happen with Kevin here in the next few years. Also, All-City, and he made first team All-Region offensive tight end. Thanks, Kevin, and we wish you well. Mr. Crockett, Jaden Crockett, another good story. Coming from the Phoenix Union, his dad was a head coach at a high school in that district, and with the fear of, I want my son to get a last year of playing time, but he played for me and did everything for me as father. I'm going to let my son go to another school and see what happens. And that was an honor to have a coach and a parent willing to give up their son, who means everything to your team, to go somewhere else. He was a model citizen, named a captain, and really didn't know the players, but based on the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, and the way he practiced on the field, he was a captain for us, just being here 1 year. The goal was to have an opportunity to possibly get paid, school paid for, and that's what happened because of his grades, because of the way he carries himself and his athletic ability on the field. And one of the things I want to say about these guys, social media is a big deal. I think we're getting a little bit too caught up in social media, spending too much time there when it's about the academics and the way you play on the field. You don't need the social media, and these guys are great examples of not getting caught up in the social media thing, but they chose to do the work. They chose to do the work, and there's no way around it. You have to do the tough stuff, and football is one of the last gladiator sports. These guys were a great addition to the team, especially when you're a new coach with a new staff. They were model citizens, and I appreciate them greatly. Jaden also was all-region defensive back. Our last player, Zachary Haye, could not make it this evening. He was a warrior in the weight room, our physical leader on the team. He also battled through some injuries, has an offer to go to University of San Diego. He has chosen not to do that, and he wants to be a physician assistant, so he's going to continue just in education, but he also was a team captain and leader in this program. Once again, I want to thank the parents for allowing us to have your son during this time. As we know, some parents didn't allow their kids come out to sports. We didn't, wins and losses, have the record we wanted, but we got to build some relationships, and we try to keep the relationship being the reward. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, Coach, and thanks to all the coaches for presenting these fine young people. One more round of applause for all the athletes. All right, folks, at this time, if you'll go over and see Mr. Ewing, he's got the plaques, the all-city plaques for both the Padres and the Pride. And then right over behind the amphitheater, Herb Stokes with Southwest Photography will be taking the pictures. Completely up to you if you'd like an individual picture or with your family. We'll take care of you both with our plaque and our Tempe All-City Photography. Thanks so much and have a great day. Sports season ceremony for the Tempe All-City Association. My name is Dan Nero, and I'm honored to be here today to help recognize a special group of great young people along with their families, friends, coaches, school district administration, and others who are with us today. For over 35 years, the Tempe All-City Association has honored young men and women who have excelled in athletics and many other aspects of their school communities at our Tempe Union High School District campuses. Many of the architects of this special association are here today, and we will recognize them during the course of the afternoon. We'd like to be sure to thank the Corona del Sol administration for allowing us to have this special event on campus today. Assistant Principal and Athletic Director Corey Nienaber, Principal Nate Cleve, and their entire staff have been very positive and helpful in allowing us to make this event a great success. Also, Tempe Union District Athletic Director Dave Huffine, Administrative Assistant Barb Neal, and District Digital Coordinator Warren Cole have done a super job in allowing this to happen today. Warren is assisted by Mountain Point senior Shayla McKenzie, who's an intern, and the video of this event will be available on the Tempe Union High School District YouTube page. And Dr. Wood tells me that it's also going to be available at the Tempe All-City Association website starting on noon on Monday. So a couple different places where you can revisit this again if you'd like. I'd also like to say a big thank you to Principal Mike Degnan from Desert Vista and also AD Tommy Eubanks, because we know they've been very instrumental in just getting fall sports off and running and through the very, very difficulties, as I've mentioned, through some of the challenges this year. As we know, this past year of COVID-19 pandemic has been a very big challenge. It has taken a great effort on the part of these student athletes, their families, coaches, administrators, and the entire school community, and we're blessed to have had a fall sports season. We're also very fortunate to be here today to celebrate these young leaders. With safety in mind, we appreciate everybody staying masked up today, and we've asked our students and family members to attend in school-by-school groups. The Thunder from Desert Vista is our last group of the day, and we're so glad to have them here. A little bit about order of operations on how we'll make this happen this afternoon. First off, we'll have the coaches come up, and they'll come to this adjoining podium, and they will present each of the athletes that they have today. There's no pressure. As the student is introduced by the coach, they may stay and stand with their family, or if they'd like to come up front, take their mask off if they like, leave it on. We just ask that they turn around and face so Warren can make sure they get some good video as they are being discussed. We ask the coach please introduce themselves, recognize the family in attendance today, as well as the student athlete. We also ask the coaches to keep their comments to 1 to 2 minutes per student athlete to respect everybody's time. And we do understand that's tough because some great kids coming up here have come up today and coming up right now. Once the student is honored, they'll sit back down with their family, and when we complete the process, we have one special recognition, and then when that is done, the students are invited to go up and see Mr. Ewing. He's got the plaques for all the Desert Vista Thunder athletes, and then right around behind the amphitheater, Herb Stokes of Southwest Photography's got his equipment set up, and you'll be able to take a picture with family as individuals, once again, as you choose to do that as we finish up our events. So without further delay, let's get started. And I'm told one of our coaches has a Pee Wee sports event going to happen really quick. And I know I was at 8 o'clock kindergarten soccer this morning, so I know what that's like, and that's a lot of fun. It's a granddaughter, by the way. It's my granddaughter. So, let's have Mr. Chris Hanson, boys cross country. Coach?
Good afternoon. I am so humbled by this opportunity to speak upon my student athlete. But before I do that, I want to thank the Tempe All-City Association for putting on this event. Normally, as you know, if you've been to one of these before, I know a lot of the coaches have, it's done in a different fashion, but we cannot be more than happy to be able to still honor our student athletes in a safe way. And we also, I want to point out that they chose the school Save the Best for last, so Desert Vista is going last today, right? And I know, yeah, we can clap. It's Desert Vista, and I know I'm among greatness, not just great young athletes, but also their coaches and their parents. They wouldn't be great athletes if it wasn't for their parents. Let's give your parents a round of applause if you could, real quick. I want to start off by not only echoing the thanks to the Tempe All-City Association, but also to AD Tommy Eubanks, Principal Degnan, Dava Harbertson, who is our athletic secretary. This stuff doesn't happen without those three people, and also Jim Snow, who makes sure we get our stuff to wear, and so we can proudly wear the blue and gold. My athlete, who I am proudly announcing today, is joined by his mom. If Noah Jodan could come down and join me, please. Stand in front of me, so you're much prettier than I am. So, all right, this is Noah, and Noah is a phenomenal runner, thus the award of All City. And the way they chose to do All City this year for the first time, I believe, is taking the fastest athlete from our district from the state meet. Is that correct, Mr. Eubanks? So that was something they did this year. In years past, we would have a city championship race. That wasn't able to happen this year, so rather than doing it through a race, they said, let's just say whoever runs the best at the state meet, and you're looking at him. Noah was runner-up. If the race had been, I'll say 50 meters. Most people have told me 100 meters, but I'd say if it was 50 meters longer, Noah would have been first. That's how he was gunning on the kid who ended up winning the meet. Noah is a junior, so Noah gets another chance at that next year. I'm excited for Noah's talents, but more importantly, his work ethic. The reason he's standing here is not because he necessarily has the most talent, whether it be in the state or on our team, but more importantly, he has the work ethic of kids that I've had in the past, and maybe even then some. Noah checks in with me daily. Even though we may be training, and we've been training a little bit through the winter and through COVID and so on and so forth, but Noah is texting me, we're communicating via text or email, he's telling me the other things he's doing, all the little things, whether it's nutrition or sleep and all the different things, habits that it takes to be a great athlete. He's also a great student, and looking forward to having him back. That's the exciting part. He'll be standing here again next year. Well, at least we hope so. Mr. Noah Jodan.
The president of the All-City Association, Mr. Drew Metcalf, is taking care of some housekeeping duties, so it takes a whole team to get this thing done. We appreciate him. Now for the ladies cross country, Coach Megan Ping.
Hi, I'm Coach Megan Ping, and I coach Desert Vista Cross Country, and I'd like to introduce someone very special to me. Lauren Ping is my daughter, and she was chosen, can I come down? She was chosen for All City. She was actually the state champ this year. She was first at all of the meets, all the Arizona meets, so Chandler, Western Equinox. Desert Twilight was a meet that actually we had runners coming in from all over the country, which was really fun to still able to do this year, despite COVID. She was second at that, first at Phoenix Classic, first at sections, and then first at state. We also went on to a national meet in Florida where she took 6th place. She is a very hard worker and an excellent role model for all of her teammates. She does all the little extras, and I get to witness it firsthand, obviously. Gets to bed pretty early, eats good. Things that aren't always easy to do as a teenager, as many of you know. But that is, like Coach Hanson said, what it takes to be a great athlete, and many of you know this. So I just want to thank her for always being such a great, part of the team and a leader, and just always for being such a great daughter too. So yeah, that's it.
Now let's take care of girls and boys swim with Coach Sean O'Connell.
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, Sean O'Connell, head coach for the boys and the girls swim at Desert Vista. It's good to be here today. It's delayed, but we get to do it and recognize our athletes. And also I'd like to thank Tommy Eubanks and Mr. Dignan for your help, and also big help from our athletic trainer, Steve Baca, this year. With all the loopholes and all the protocols and keeping everybody safe, he was a big help in our program. Our sports, like all the others, had to make some adjustments. We went from 8 meets in dual meets and 4 invitationals to 4 virtual meets. We swam against ourselves, we wrote down the times, and we exchanged them with another team across the city somewhere, and we decided who won. Not the best way to do it, but it was the safest way at the time, especially since we're obviously a sport with no masts, swimming in the water. But the thing was that was difficult as a coach is you didn't know where you stood against other teams. You didn't know how they were going to react when they were put in a head-to-head situation. And qualifying for the state meet, we had a qualifying meet. It was our first real live competition on a full scale. And as a coach, we were a little nervous. The coaching staff was a little nervous and unsure of how we were going to do. Credit to the athletes, both male and female, we did outstanding. That is why we're here today. The top Tempe Union athlete from that qualifying state meet, that meet for qualifying for the meet, is here today. So I have a number of athletes I'd like to introduce. I'm going to start with Evan Bushko. He is here with his father and his grandfather. Evan's here today because he was the top finisher in the 100-yard butterfly. And also he went on to the state meets to finish 5th at the state meet, which was a big improvement. But not only that, he's now the 3rd fastest athlete in DV history. He really had a huge jump this year from his freshman year. He is a sophomore only. Evan brings a lot of confidence. He loves to talk. He loves to fire up his teammates. He loves to encourage his teammates. He's a very aggressive swimmer. He'll go out hard as he can and just take the bull by the horns type of attitude. Very pleased with how it finished out, and he was also part of a relay team that won a state title this year. So congratulations to Evan. Next we have Caleb Stanley. Caleb Stanley is also a sophomore. He's here because him and another athlete from DV, which he'll be up next, is they tied. So we can take the top athlete. They actually tied for first overall at the state qualifying meet, and so they're both here today for that. Both him and the next athlete took a huge jump this year from the freshman year. Again, just a sophomore. He got stronger, he got faster, he got focused, put a lot of work in technique. He stayed after practice, worked on starts, turns, etc., and it really paid off in the end. He was also part of a state, he finished at the state meet, he finished 5th in the backstroke and 8th in the 50-yard freestyle. He went from not scoring at the meet last year to finaling top 8 in both events. A huge jump. So congratulations to Caleb. Ryan Davenport. So a lot of the same things I can say about Caleb, I'm going to say about Ryan. Also a sophomore. We had a great group of kids on the male side last year come in as freshmen, and they made just tremendous gains. He also is here because he tied with Caleb in the 100-yard backstroke. Again, he worked hard. He got stronger. He put on some weight. He, swam all year long. And then he went on to the state meets to finish 4th in the 100-yard backstroke, and then 7th in the 100-yard freestyle. And that was the 3rd fastest all-time, and as a sophomore in DV history. Was a lot to say. He's here with Shelly and Brian, his parents, and also part of a state relay championship team. Congratulations, Ryan. Tres Mangia. Also a sophomore. So there's 4 boys plus a couple more. He's here because he won the 100 breaststroke and the 200 individual medley. And then he went on to the state meets to finish 3rd in the 100 breaststroke and 4th in the 200 medley, which is the 2nd fastest in DV history time and also the 6th fastest. He's an outstanding individual. He loves being in the water and working on his technique. He also, with Caleb, him and Caleb kind of had this thing where they stayed after practice every chance that they could to get a little extra coaching from myself and Coach Johnson, who helped him out a lot with his breaststroke. A tremendous work ethic, okay? And just staying after and doing that, putting in the time. So congratulations to you, Tress. Jack Lucan. Jack is a junior. This is the 2nd time receiving this award. He's here with his parents, and he is here because he won the 200-yard freestyle and the 500-yard freestyle at the qualifying meets. He went on then to finish 3rd place in the 200-yard freestyle at the state meet, and he is the state champion, the 2nd state champion ever. Come on. He is the 2nd state champion ever in DV history. Individually for male, he won the 500-yard freestyle and setting a school record. And if you're swimming in 4:31, which is tremendous fast time. The thing about that swim, and think about him himself, he's, all the awards and all the things that he wins, he's always remains humble, and he's always quiet, and he has that quiet, calm confidence about him. Even when he's swimming, he's focused. And he has, the confidence to, being a distance swimmer, not get excited and go out too fast and blow up too early. He's a second half swimmer, or he is at least an even pace or negative split type of guy. This year, just a little funny story. So he not only won the 500-yard freestyle, he was on both relay teams that won state championships. So at this meet, he won 3 state championships, 2 relays, 1 individual, and then finished 3rd in this other event. I had him swim the 200-yard freestyle relay. This is equivalent to swimming, I guess in running, it would be running a mile, winning the state championship, jogging around the track 1 time, and then swimming or running the 4x100. He went from swimming a 4-minute thing, which requires distance, to swimming an event that swims 20 seconds. And he was our anchor, and he held on, and for the state championship, he was tired, he knew it, but he, that's who he is. Finishes things. Congratulations, Jack. And Max Nielsen. He's here with his parents too, Jens and Ann. He's here because he was the champion of the 50-yard freestyle and the 100-yard freestyle. He went on to finish 2nd in the 100-yard freestyle, 6th in the 50-yard freestyle. Those are top 5 DV history. He was also named to the Arizona Republic All-State Honorable Mention team. As he's leaving us, he was with us for 2 years as a transfer. He brought a lot of energy and a lot of skill and experience to the team. So we're going to miss that tremendously. He's a terrific person. He's coachable. He's respectful, and he works hard. He uses everything that he's got. It's a great feel for the water. So we wish him well. We're going to miss him, but congratulations on your honor. Thank you. We had a good season, so you're going to hear a lot of me. Sorry about that. I have 3 girls, and potential. Do I have a diver? Yes. Is it there? Okay, great. I have 3 girl swimmers, and I have the dive coach here to introduce our diver. First of all, I'd like to call Clara Lucan. And yes, this is Jack's younger sister. Runs in the family, very talented athletes, very hard workers as she is. She's here because she won the 200-yard freestyle and 100-yard backstroke at the qualifying meets. She went on to finish 10th and 11th in those events at the state meet. She's a sweet girl. She has a terrific smile, but she's gritty and she's feisty, and she'll fight. She's not afraid. She'll fight, for everything with everything she's had. She has a tremendous amount of talent, and she was a great, as a freshman coming in, it really helped out the girls team to round out a few events to balance us out. We really look forward to having her around for the next 3 years, and hopefully we'll see her a lot. Congratulations, Claire. Catherine Chellis. Catherine's junior. This is her second time at this being selected All-City. She's here because she won 2 events again at the qualifying meets, the 200 IM, the 100-yard breaststroke, and then went on to improve on both of those from last year, finishing 7th and 9th at the state meet. In the 200 IM, she became the 4th fastest in DV history. She is an outstanding individual and has, talented in multiple events. When you swim the IM, you can swim butterfly, freestyle, backstroke, etc. So she's used a lot throughout our lineup. And one thing with the girl that I'm going to call up next, she practices tremendously hard. Our practices were different this year. We only could have 24 people. We'd have 8 people on one wall, 8 people on the other wall, and then 8 people across the middle. We could never be at the wall at the same time. So we would line up our practices, and I would put her with other people that really like to work hard. And so it was fun as a coach to watch them compete day in and day out because of their worth ethic. So again, a junior, look forward to having her around next year. Congratulations, Catherine. And Shelby Nicolaisen. This is Shelby's 3rd honor here at the All-City Award. She's here with her parents, Tanya and Sky. Sorry. She's here because of the 500-yard freestyle. She's a distance swimmer, but also can swim breaststroke, freestyle, and she also swam the 200 IM at the state meet. She was a captain this year. She's an experienced athlete. Over the last 4 years, she's been a major reason why we've had success. She's been right in the middle of it ever since her freshman year. When I create my lineup to go against other teams, I usually start with Shelby and think about what I want to do. I look at the other teams and figure out how I want to set up the lineup. And that's, like I said, I usually start. She's one of the first girls I look at and where I want to place her. Coincidentally, over the last 4 years, swimming the 500, the distance, for whatever reason, we've gone against teams that seem to have a lot of 500-yard swimmers as well, very quality swimmers. And so she gets, I don't want to call it stuck, but sometimes she has to go against some of the toughest, the fastest distance swimmers in the state, and she fights them. She fights them day in and day out at every meet. She doesn't back down. She loves swimming. She loves swimming for her school. And so I've always been proud of her for that. We will miss her experience, obviously, being a senior, and also her knowledge. As coach, we all have coach athletes. She's been my coach athlete for the last couple of years. She knows the community. She knows the other teams. She knows what people are doing around the state, how fast they are. And so she's a go-to, and she likes to share that information. It's been a nice relationship that way. Going to miss her. Next year, she'll be swimming at the University of San Diego. So congratulations, good luck, and thank you.
Coach Joe Sear with girls dive.
Thank you. Vera Brewer, if you can come let me embarrass you for 30 seconds. I'm excited to present this to her because she is deserving of this award not only because of her athletic prowess in a very technical sport, but she does very well in school as well. Smiles and shows up on time to practice and sets an example for her teammates. So I'm very pleased to say congratulations, Vera. Good job. I look forward to next season as well. Thank you.
Now we invite up Coach Molly West in girls volleyball. Coach Molly?
My two young ladies, come on down. Where are you? I haven't introduced them yet. Okay, I'm Molly West, volleyball coach at Desert Vista, and before I start, I want to thank the Tempe All-City Association. The reality is this was very resourceful and creative for us to still be able to honor our very best kids in our district. So thank you so much, Tempe All-City, for that. I also want to thank my AD. Where's Tommy? Thanks, Tommy. Tommy Eubanks back here and Mike Dignan, my principal. They made the effort last year in this crazy time to come to our matches, and it was great to have a presence there, and I truly appreciate their support. So thank you. And let's see, before I talk about them, I'm one of those people that didn't think the season was going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen. And come August, we're having our season, and I think the girls too were kind of surprised, but we embraced it. And the reality is we thought every day it could get cut short. And so that mentality of coming in every day and preparing for the unforeseen, it was very stressful, but it was fun. These girls embraced that. We set simple goals, stay safe, have fun, get better. And I was most impressed with how they managed that. And you know, without any seniors, these kids ended up taking second in the region and fifth in state. And I think our success was based on these two young ladies right here. They were our captains, so let me introduce them to you. The first one I'd like to introduce is Georgia Lee. She's on my left. Georgia is a sophomore setter. I also want to introduce her parents, Darcy and Jared. I think they're back here in the chairs. But I'm most impressed with Georgia because she's a very focused, mature player. She's extremely intense. She gives 110%. Her passion and intensity for the game was our driving force, I believe. She puts the team first, has a strong growth mindset every single day. Georgia is extremely coachable and eager to learn, exceptional leader, and she does by example. And because of her selflessness, her team voted her MVP this year. Georgia is a 2-year varsity letter winner. She was our captain, second team all-region. She also was on the ABCA 2020 Phenom Watch List, which is a national watch list. She carries a 3.66 GPA, was part of the Sports 360 All-Academic team. She's got several big schools looking at her right now, including Colorado State as a sophomore. And I'm very grateful to have her for 2 more years, and this is her first Tempe All-City Award. Congratulations, Georgia. My second captain, my second young lady, is Kylie Moran. She's a junior outside hitter. Her parents, Michelle and Jim, where are you guys? Yeah, and I want to thank you guys for the live streaming this year. That's the new thing, and you guys did a great job with that, so thank you for taking care of that. Kylie is a 3-year letter winner. She was our captain. She also was second team all-region. She was also on the ABCA 2020 Phenom Watch List. She carries a 3.77 GPA, was also on the Sports 360 All-Academic team. And for us, for Kylie, for our team, was a solid 6-rotation player. She hits with a very heavy hand. She's super fun to watch. And I think the one thing this year that Kylie did that impressed me the most is that she came into the season in August in the best shape ever. I was so impressed that this young lady was working hard for the unknown. And she came in and she went after it, and it was awesome to see that. So I appreciate that autonomy that she took on that. This next year will be her senior year, and I have high expectations for her, and I have good confidence that she's going to be our big go-to again, and we count on that. Kylie is also looking to play in college. She has several schools right now she's looking at, and so I'm anxious to find out if there's been any decision. Not yet? Okay. And I have no doubt she can play at the next level. This is Kylie's first Tempe All-City Association Award as well. Congratulations, Kylie. And I have one more player I need to mention who is not here, Logan Bluetrick. She's a junior middle blocker right side. She was a 3-year letter winner. She was first team All-Region. She carries a 3.29 GPA, and this also was her first Tempe All-City Association Award. Congratulations, ladies. Nice job.
And now for football with Coach Danny Hines. First of all, I'd like to thank Tempe All City for being so awesome this past 19 years, giving me the opportunity to stand up and talk about Desert Vista football players. So, great job, All City. Appreciate you guys a lot. Parents that are here, I got to tell you, great job raising these young men. Guys, come on up while I'm talking about your moms and dads here for a second. We had 5 football players at Desert Vista make All City. And let me tell you, this is a group of 5 outstanding young men, and mom and dads, you guys did a great job raising them. And I appreciate you trusting me with your sons and giving me the opportunity to coach these guys. Real quick, I want to talk about these guys as a group. It wasn't an easy season for anybody, but I got to tell you about these 5 guys, how they handled this whole COVID-19 thing and our season. These guys never stopped believing. These guys never gave up on their teammates. These guys never gave up on me and the coaching staff. And I got to tell you, it really meant a lot to me that these guys would come out every day with a good attitude and the energy. And you know, this was one of the most special groups I've ever had a chance to coach because of that. I know it was difficult, but these are wonderful young men in front of me. So I'd like to start out talking about Michael Allison. Michael is the fastest guy on our football team this last season. And what's amazing about that, I know Grubbs is probably going, I don't know about that one, Coach. I think it was close. Maybe we'll race after this. How's that? We'll settle that one. They were both really fast. Michael has great speed. He's only a sophomore. Made a lot of great plays for us this year. Michael is really versatile. He played a lot of different positions for us. On offense, he could play tailback when the few times that Devon did go out of the game. He can play slot. He played receiver. On defense, he played safety, and he could also play corner, so he's a really athletic young man. Just a quick story about him. Last year, when we were getting ready for our semifinal game, we were playing a quarterback that was pretty good. Florida State, I think he's playing there now. But we had to try to figure out how to stop him. And so our idea was, let's take our fastest kid, and we moved Michael up as a freshman. And we just figured, we'll throw him on scout team. And it was amazing what he did that week and how he made our defense a lot better because of his speed and athleticism. We put him at quarterback, and it was in the quarterfinal game, and he prepared us to get to the semis. So good job, Mike. And he's only a sophomore. He's got a couple great years ahead of him. Mike Allison. Now we'll talk about Devon Grubbs. Devon, he averaged 15 tackles a game for us. He didn't ever come off the field. He's a two-way guy, and he came off just a few plays a game. Incredible athlete, incredible running back, incredible defensive player as well. Devon played his freshman year on varsity, and one game he actually scored 5 touchdowns against a really good 6A team. And we knew right then that he was going to be something special. And Devon, he's got one more year. He's a junior. And I think, for a lot of reasons, Devon, I'll tell you, the last few months I've had a chance to go back and just kind of reminisce and look at some of the great players and the great teams that we've had at Desert Vista the last 25 years. And
we've had some really good players come through, and I believe when it's all said and done, he's going to be in that top category with these greats, and I know he will because he's got great work ethic, he's got a great attitude, he's got great guidance from his parents, and I just can't wait to watch him next year. Good luck, Dev. I'm going to miss you. All right. Next young man, Lucas Calcavalli, he was our punter, and I got to tell you, I've never seen a young man in his position through all the years that I've coached get better between his junior and senior year the way this guy did. Last year, his junior year, we actually decided to use our quarterback and keep our offense out on the field on fourth downs, and honestly, we've never talked about it, but I think he took that personal because the way that he reacted to that was positive, and he took the off season, and I don't know if I've ever seen a punter work as hard as he worked. In the weight room, always grabbed a bag of balls. He was out on the field punting, and he came back this year, and here he is standing here. He's all city. He averaged nearly 40 yards per punt, and the things we asked him to do, if it were a directional kick, he could do it, and just his calmness back there under pressure was unbelievable. So I tell you, he one of the better punters that's come through, and we've had some real good special teams throughout the years. But also he's a great young man. So good luck, buddy. Tyson Martinez, he's here as all-city linebacker, and he led our team in tackles this year. Thing with Tyson is he's a pretty quiet young man, but he speaks his words. He speaks through action, not his words, and he always did that on the football field. And he was a kid that played so hard that every single week in practice he would be pretty banged up, but he never missed a practice. I don't ever remember him missing a practice or coming saying, "Coach, I'm hurt." He would always go to the trainers. He'd come out with tape. He'd come out with wraps, and he'd always be prepared for Friday nights for us, and I really appreciate that in him. He was served as one of our team captains, along with Devon as well, and just a young man that you could always count on, and a young man that I really leaned on a lot of times because of his personality. And so he was a great high school football player, and I'll really miss him, Tyson Martinez. Last but not least, we got my man Kama over here on the right side. And Kama last year, he helped lead our team to semifinals, and there was a lot of coaches out in the valley that he caught their eye the way that he played, because he played both sides of the ball, but he was an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, and most of the time, linemen are standing a lot taller than the other guys when they stand up here, but it really doesn't matter how big this guy is. He's got a heart of a lion, and he played like he was 6'5", 300. And he would move guys that were 6'5", 300, and that's, I think, what caught everybody's eye. Kama, like I said, never came off the field. He's a tough young man. He was a team captain, a kid that we could really lean on. And the one thing about him that he always did that I'll never forget, ever, is win or lose after games. And, it's hard for, you lose a game. It's hard for kids to come, do what he did. But he would come in every night after a game, win or lose. He'd come to the coach's office, and he would thank every coach, and he would give us a hug. And that I'll never forget that. That's incredible. But what a great kid, a great football player. I love you five guys. Good luck to you guys, and thank you very much.
I did want to acknowledge Coach Hines. He is stepping down as the head coach at Desert Vista this year, and he's been a fantastic leader of young men for many, many years. We're sure going to miss him in the Tempe Union District. He's a great dad, and once again, he's molded a lot of young men over the many years, so we appreciate all the athletes here today, all the athletes. One more round of applause. Thank you. Now, before we finish, I did also want to acknowledge there's several groups out there in our community that helps the Tempe All-City Association, and we want to acknowledge like Tempe Diablos, Tempe Firefighters Association, the Tempe District, Tempe Union High School District themselves, Wood Family Dentistry, and Universal Athletics. So many people out there keep the Tempe All-City Association going, and an opportunity to honor these great young people. Dr. Wood, Mr. Spricali, and several of the founding fathers thought years and years ago, hey, you know what, let's do something special. We don't have a lot of money, but every few years a Tempe District School might win a state championship. So they said, you know what, if you win a state championship, let's give a plaque to the coach, and it won't cost us any money. Well, I don't know how much money it's cost, but they've had dozens and dozens and dozens of state championships over the years. So if that was a curse, it was a really good curse to the Tempe District, because every year we have the opportunity to honor our state championship teams. And I'd like Coach Ping to come on up and take this plaque for our girls cross country Division I state champions.
Hi again. I just want to thank the athletic director for sure, Tommy, for all the help this year, and our great athletes too. Lauren led the team, and just it was a great season, and came down to a really tight race. We won by about 3 points, and it was a nail biter, but we did it, and actually won state last year too. So just continuing that rich tradition here at Desert Vista. So thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Once again, I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't gotten your plaque, see Mr. Ewing right over there. Our photos will be right over behind with Herb Stokes with Southwest Photography. Thank you so much again, and we hope to see a lot of folks back here in the winter and spring events. Thank you. Bye.